There are some global constants on the internet, and one of them is Google is making itself worse all the time, and that includes YouTube. So I have a lot to say about this. I should probably do like a full separate deep dive video on some of the bullshit that we deal with as creators, where, just as an example, and I was saving this for another video, it wasn't intended to go in here, but mid-roll ads. So there's ads that pop up from AdSense in the middle of the video. There was a period where they just went and turned it on for like a month of our videos that I had explicitly disabled it for, or I had set like a max of 1 to 2 for, say, a 45-minute or a 30-minute video. We'll typically do 1 or 2 mid-rolls that we manually place. They went in, they turned on, there were like 12 for like a 30-minute video at some point. Anyway, that's a separate complaint for another time. They're making things worse, and this entire episode is focused only on the last few months of YouTube making things worse. And so Ben and I went through and we put together our list of grievances for YouTube. That's what this is. It's like, we need like a holiday for this. We need we need like a special day of grievances for YouTube specifically. Like YouTubeivus or something. I don't know. It sounds like a disease. Anyway, you get the point. Let's get into it. This GNCA video is brought to you by us and our honeypot t-shirts for charity. The honeypot t-shirt features a custom foil design with a smashed, shiny honeypot on the front, with the back featuring a GN logo with a bee flying away. Each shirt also comes with a trading card, ready to be played with its mechanics that grant treasure tokens to an opponent and then immediately take them back, including my own flavor text that I've written at the bottom. We're donating the profit from this shirt order to archive.org for its preservation of media and websites, the Cramden Institute for its e-waste recycling and its PC refurbishing and distribution programs, and the Public Interest Research Group for its support of consumer rights and warranty rights. Head over to store.gamersnexus.net to grab one today. Actually, just thinking of it, I think we need a disclaimer in this video for YouTube and as a CYA for myself against YouTube. To be extremely clear, we're talking about things that relate to ads and ad blockers in this video. We are not advocating one way, nice. Anyway, we're not advocating one way or the other for installing them or not installing them. That's a whole separate subject. We're gonna talk about them. But YouTube, if you're watching this, you're like, got my finger over the ban button. Is he gonna violate the terms? The answer is no. We are not suggesting that users do one or the other. We're just gonna talk about it. Okay, back to the content. All right, so first of all, just the topics today. They're fighting ad blockers in ways that I just think it's an awful idea. I mean, this is like the way to get people to deal with things like ads or paying for a product or whatever is to make it reasonably accessible without being assholes about it and making it impossible to consume. You know, like once you start running into multiple unskippable ads where you're waiting 90 seconds to even start watching the video, which isn't something like we control. There's some level of control you have, but they can do it regardless of if monetization's turned on or not. So this is where ad blockers evolve. And then it gets into this arms race of, well, do we block the blockers? And then they unblock the blockers, and then the blocking blocks the blocking blockers, and so forth. It gets kind of stupid, but YouTube Premium is getting worse. YouTube Ad AI Slop with Gemini now, and plenty more. We'll talk about that today. But let's start with them cracking down on ad blockers. So YouTube is cracking down on viewers who attempt to circumvent the advertisements that are on the platform. Ironically, YouTube has been building in features that make it easier for viewers to skip the creator baked in ads, which YouTube doesn't get money for, at least not the way we do it and most creators do it. So they've been building those features. Someone asked me in the comments recently how I felt about YouTube making it so that people can like skip the ads that we burn into the videos more easily. I don't fucking care. I mean, you can skip it if you want. It's whatever. Like, I get it. But anyway, over the last month, multiple reports claim that YouTube is slowing down or blocking videos for viewers with active ad blockers. And we've actually run into YouTube's back-end YouTube Studio solution blocking our own browsers, because they're not Chrome, from playing back the videos where you can do things like add title cards and whatever. So the problem is it'll just spin, or it'll be a black screen and won't play at all until the user plays by YouTube's rules, maybe runs Chrome, doesn't use an ad blocker, things like that. And this is coming from the same company that can't find the time to fix its own rampant bot problem. We'll just pop some of them over there. I think I'm probably going to have to like blur or censor one of them, because I think, ironically, if I show the bot profile pictures that YouTube allows on its website, I will probably have some kind of penalty for it. So we're going to blur the worst of them, but they can't find time to deal with that. Where like 80% of the comments are the same 3 friggin' emojis, or at least variations of them, to the extent that you can like ban individual emojis so that the comments just don't even appear, but then they change which emojis they are. It's predictable is the point. And they don't have the time to fix that, but they have the time to go after browsers that aren't Chrome and extensions. Anyway, PC World said users on Reddit and the Brave browser forum, and we checked this to confirm, have reported videos being blacked out on first load. That's a quote. Continuing the quote, approximately for the length of the pre-roll ads with a pop-up link that directs users to the ad blocking section, end quote, of a Google support page. And again, we've occasionally seen that in the back end of YouTube Studio with just Firefox. The support page instructs users to check whether they have ad blocking browser extensions that could affect video playback. And multiple posts on Reddit show that YouTube is restricting videos when an ad blocker is in use. If YouTube wants to do that, that's totally fine. They can do that, but they have to understand this is how these platforms death spiral. Right now, YouTube has no effective competition. But I saw this with the web publishing space as in articles. Like our site now, the GN site, has no ads. There's 0 third-party ads at all on the GamersNexus.net site. And that's because I went through the first real adpocalypse on the article-based internet, which was when all these publishers started racing to add more and more ads to try and compensate for users who were seeing fewer of them. And so they had fewer ad-viewing users that they would shovel more ads to try and compensate. And the end result of that was those users get fed up with it and increasingly use either ad blockers, abandon certain sites altogether, stick to aggregators like Reddit or whatever. That's the end result. And that's a potential side effect here too. YouTube, we think they are going to harm traffic to the site with this, and this will reduce ad views anyway. And then they'll try to compensate for those losses by shoveling more ads into it. And this is exactly what I saw in like 2008 to 2012. It's the same damn thing. It's an arms race rather than focusing on, gee, why do people block the ads to begin with? And there's a few obvious options. I mean, there's too many of them is one option. This is why like in our videos we do one baked in ad and we don't have like an end roll that we bake in or anything like that. But anyway, there's too many AdSense ads. Specifically, the ads are AI bullshit. I mean, I just the other day logged out of YouTube Premium to check what the ads look like, and one of the things that I got was like an AI generated person like talking with an obvious AI voice, but a really shitty one, peddling some kind of health. I don't. It was like clearly bullshit, whatever it was. And that's another reason to block ads. Third reason, I don't know if this video is going to trigger all kinds of. We'll see what YouTube does to this video. I don't know. I don't care. It doesn't matter. But anyway, that's kind of the situation we end up in. Reddit user Casil of Saturn said YouTube would block the video player after playing one video. The warning message encouraged them to try YouTube Premium. One user claimed that YouTube slowed down video speeds and gave them a prompt that said, quote, experiencing interruptions, question mark, end quote. Another Redditor claimed YouTube simply said a video is, quote, unavailable when using ad blockers. Not everyone on the Reddit threads had the same experience, though. Some people suggested workarounds. PC World said developers are adapting software to stay ahead of YouTube. Quote, adblock extension developers quickly got around the pop-up issue earlier this week, with one AdGuard representative calling the process, quote, a classic cat and mouse game, end quote. In a statement to Mashable, a YouTube representative shared some details and said this, quote, the use of ad blockers violate YouTube's terms of service, and we've been urging users for some time to allow ads on YouTube or try YouTube Premium for an ad-free experience. As we've said before, viewers using ad blockers may have a suboptimal viewing experience, which includes delays in loading, end quote. The suboptimal viewing experience language is intentionally vague here, could mean a number of things. And again, it is totally YouTube's prerogative to block ad blockers if they want. The thing I care about is just like, I don't know. I mean, you got to look at the root cause of this. That's where they need to start. And one of those could be, like I said, when you get the ads that are just like scams. So like it's kind of hard to be confused by users not wanting to see that. So anyway, I think I should probably emphasize again in this video as a paper trail for myself and for YouTube, we are not in this video advocating for the use or the disuse of ad blockers because I don't care. The thing that we're talking about is the user experience and it getting worse. It's not about whether users should or shouldn't install certain things. And actually, honestly, extensions you do need to be extremely careful with because like a browser extension is one of the best possible vectors for an attack. So it is something to think about there too. It's kind of a whole different topic. Anyway, next one is YouTube Premium getting worse. So YouTube is pushing Premium to avoid ads, which is fine, but it's doing so at a time when Premium is adding more ads back into Premium. So that was the entire point of YouTube Premium. It was no ads, and now they have them again. YouTube is moving to roll out its Premium Lite feature fully for $8 per month, except Premium Lite doesn't let you play videos like music in the background, meaning turning your phone screen off and letting it play. That's like half the point of Premium for me. It doesn't allow you to download videos to mobile for offline play. It adds ads back in some situations, according to new reports. It also doesn't give you access to YouTube Music. It's basically pointless, in my opinion. And we think the real purpose of it is actually to sort of normalize ads in paid services and slowly roll that out. It really looks like YouTube is ramping up its position to be able to start shoving ads back into everything, even the ad-free paid services. That's what I think. But YouTube made it worse by emailing this out to some of its users. This was confirmed by a couple users online. Quote, "Thank you for being a Premium Lite member. Premium Lite offers fewer interruptions so you can watch more of the YouTube you love," end quote. And this is on, I believe it was the Twit forum. It continues, quote, "We are writing to let you know that beginning 30th June 2025, ads may appear on Shorts in addition to music content and when you search or browse. Most videos will continue to remain ad-free. While we hope that you continue to be a member, you can cancel your membership at any time here. To check the status of your account and billing information, go to your settings, purchases, and memberships page. For more information about Premium Lite, please visit our YouTube Help Center. We appreciate and continue to learn from your feedback. Sincerely, the YouTube Premium team," end quote. I want to give some context here for viewers. So if you wonder what do YouTubers make from ads, there's a couple forms, but the one that's relevant here, the one that YouTube controls, is called AdSense. And the answer is fractions of a penny per view. So if you're paying $8 a month and you're still getting ads, at a super high CPM or cost per 1,000 views, you gotta watch probably over 1,000 videos realistically. It depends on the category here. And maybe if you're watching Finance Bros, it's fewer. Maybe it's only like 500 or something. But it's going to be somewhere in the range of like 500 to 3,000 videos that would have had ads that you'd have to watch to basically generate that $8 of ad revenue for the creators. That's actually more for YouTube itself. I think this split I could probably disclose. It's public. But okay, I'm not sure what the contractual rules are anymore. So what I did is I Googled this. Google, by the way, owns YouTube, just so everyone's clear here. I typed in, what is the YouTube ad revenue split creators? And I got, this is the best part, an AI overview from Gemini, which is also made by Google. And it says, YouTube typically splits ad revenue with creators through a revenue sharing model. This is a quote, "Creators receive 55% of the ad revenue generated by their videos, while YouTube retains the remaining 45%. This split applies to long-form videos and is a standard arrangement for creators within the YouTube Partner Program." So I'm just reading a quote there just in case there's some kind of rules around saying that. But point being, to generate $8 worth of basically to start becoming more cost than you're worth it for something like Premium Lite at $8, you got to be watching thousands of videos a month. So to put any ads in it is just honestly absurd, but that's my opinion on it. Anyway, YouTube also has some ad AI slop now, where YouTube may change how it presents some advertisements. Search Engine Land reported that YouTube is experimenting with more non-skippable ads. Quote, Google Ads is testing 30-second non-skippable ads in regular YouTube campaigns. This format, until now, was reserved for premium placements via YouTube reservation buys, end quote. Google also recently announced what they call peak points, which is a so-called AI feature built with Gemini that allows advertisers to target ads when viewers are most engaged in a video. It's, according to what I'm reading in this post, going to intentionally interrupt the most engaging parts of videos with ads, which is almost certainly going to harm creators, at least like us, where I can't speak for everyone, but for us, we don't want to have interruptions right at the most engaging part of the video or right after. I mean, you like explicitly try to avoid that because that's when it just sucks as a viewing experience. And even from a strict business standpoint, it's like, if the person's super engaged right now because it's the best part of our video, I want them to see that because that's probably the part I care the most about and I think is the most interesting or the most cool or the best editing or whatever. You want them to see that. And the retention's probably higher after that anyway to watch through that engaging part. And to then use an AI tool to shove an ad into the middle of it is just like, what are we doing here? Is this what we're building the AI for? Anyway, in that very same post, YouTube talks about its shopping extensions and in-video shopping pop-ups, which have basically turned YouTube into the QVC channel. We'll talk more about this in future videos. Got a lot of thoughts about that one. Alphabet, which has a market cap of more than $2 trillion, wants to squeeze every dollar from YouTube services and ads, more than before. I mean, this isn't a surprise. This is what big corporations do, but that doesn't change the fact that it just feels worse as an end user. And if you want an ad-free service, of course you'll have to pay Google for it. It's just that an individual subscription to YouTube Premium without ads for now costs $14 in the US. Subscription costs vary by country, of course, but according to Alphabet's last quarterly statement, Google's, quote, subscriptions, platforms, and devices, quote, grew by $1.6 billion for Q1 2024 versus Q1 2025. And Alphabet also made more than $10 billion in total revenue from the Google subscriptions, platforms, and devices in the first quarter of 2025 already. And the company attributed most of that growth to an increase in subscription revenues across YouTube services and Google One. Paying $14 a month to remove ads, it's getting on the expensive side for sure. YouTube Premium Lite at $8 per month, though, that's the one I'm kind of focused on here because, like, at least with the $14 one, it's pretty clear what you're supposed to get, which is no more ads and videos from AdSense. But with the $8 one, it's not really 100% clear because they say that most videos won't have ads, but they don't really 100% clearly define which ones don't fall within most videos. And it feels kind of like an upsell tool to the $14 for now option. For comparison, Netflix costs something like $8 per month with ads and $18 without ads. Hulu is $10 per month with ads and $19 per month without ads. I'm personally not super familiar with these services. I don't watch like movies or TV really. I don't have time for it. But these prices are very competitive at face value. And one of the biggest things here is that YouTube content by default is already at least freely observable, even though you have to go through ads. So if YouTube wants people to remove ad blockers, we think it's going to need to adjust its pricing structure. It'll need to adjust the types of ads that are on the platform. There needs to be more policing of it. It really needs to focus on a better user experience. It seems that simple to me, where it's just like, there's all these clear victories, PR victories and whatever. I don't know, I'll use us as an example because it's something I can directly understand, but we've had people tell us that they've explicitly sort of whitelisted us for advertising for all these different extensions and things, or they'll donate on Patreon and things like that, and thank you for those of you who do both of those things, because you appreciate what we provide. And I think if you look at that from even a mega corporate perspective, it's like they come out and say, hey, we're finally going to focus on these bots. Like, we think we've got a solution, we can get most of them, and we're going to adapt to get the rest of them. They can even promote their AI bullshit with this. Like, bots versus bots, like battle bots, except in the comments section, and a lot more vulgar and filled with pictures we can't show on the screen. But focusing on that user experience, to me, that seems like the clear path forward, where you make people happier with that. You get a PR victory there as YouTube. You improve the platform. You reduce the risk of people getting scammed on your platform and being turned off of it as a result of it. And they might even increase their viewership from, for example, the younger audience, or maybe the parents, see these things in the comments and they're like, you're not going on that site or whatever. But the next thing to move towards would probably be getting rid of some of these scam ads and just the AI generated, like obviously artificial advertisements for products that might not even exist. Going after that stuff, that just seems like the place to start to me, not going after the users who are trying to avoid it. So I think one of the best examples I have personally, this is kind of one of the differences between GN and GNCA, is how I host these more first person informal, I guess. But one of the examples I have is if you think of games piracy and movie piracy and things like that, when it really got a lot less popular than it seemed like it was, at least at the time, was when streaming became lower effort, lower risk, and relatively low cost. Like all those things aligned to where it was just easier to use something like Steam or some streaming service or whatever to consume the content rather than jumping through sketchy websites and downloading things that may or may not be exactly what you wanted and risking malware and things like that. So that was when it got better, but it's starting to swing the other way. But anyway, Steam's a good example of that, where it became easier to buy the games there than really just about anything else, and that worked out well for them. So we don't want to see YouTube degrade its user experience. I still love the platform. YouTube is the main sort of way that I get content, information, that I learn stuff, and I genuinely do love using YouTube for that reason and for the people it has enabled, including us, to be honest. Like, we can appreciate it for what it is, what it has offered, what it continues to offer, but also, a lot of that, when you really love a thing and you want to see it succeed and continue to be good like it has been, it's the same way people like Ross Scott from Accursed Farms are passionate about games, where he's sort of pursuing something that some companies in the games industry will see as harmful to themselves, but it's because he loves video games and he wants them to stay available once you've purchased it. And for me, it's the same with YouTube, where it's like, this is a platform that I have and a lot of other people have built a life on. It's a great way to share information and learn, and it's very accessible for just about anybody to start uploading, but they're making it worse. It's the same way I feel about NVIDIA with the GPUs and building gaming PCs right now. So it's very unfortunate to see. But anyway, we're worried they're degrading the experience. They're forcing people towards a more premium service just to remove ads, while offering one that is nebulous about the ads it removes, which just seems like an upsell at the very least. And amusingly, Google has already prepared for all of this, because in 2018, their code of conduct said that they were focused on giving users, quote, the best products and services, but that has changed. And now it says, quote, great products and services, which is one hell of a downgrade. That is a large objective change. So anyway, that's our thoughts on what YouTube's doing right now. Not thrilled about it. I think it can get better. I don't know. They would need to, they're too big of a company to react, other than, it's not going to matter what individual people there think. It's going to matter how many people really care and kind of make noise, and then they might shift for, if only PR, they might shift for that reason. But that's our thoughts on it. Different type of content for us. I like doing this, though. This is why we made this channel. It's because this is the stuff that I want to talk about and have wanted to for years, but doesn't always fit on GN for a lot of reasons. Some of them are actually related to YouTube and Google, where it's like, if you run certain things over there, it could be a risk if I don't know what YouTube thinks about this. I don't think it likes this kind of content. I don't know that it's in its benefit to go after it, but it could. And so it gives us a little bit more freedom on this platform to talk about issues that aren't strictly hardware, and also issues that may be about things that just you run it on GN, it doesn't really click or hit the same view rate as it could here. It could actually do better here for some of this type of content, just because it's less specifically technical. And so that allows us to keep GN super technical on the hardware and electronics, and then GNCA on stuff like this. So it's really fun. I'm excited because it allows us to, I finally have an outlet to explore both types of these kinds of content I like, without needing to worry about sort of the behind the scenes. How does YouTube interpret this, and how does it affect the numbers on one versus the other? So I'm really excited about it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. As always, go to store.gamersnexus.net to support us directly, like by grabbing one of these shirts. Actually, this one supports 3 other groups directly, which is archive.org, the Cramden Institute, and PIRG, or the Public Interest Research Group. We've talked about that in our PayPal Honey lawsuit update video if you want to learn more about that. And definitely check out the Stop Killing Games video with Ross Scott. That was really fun, interview style format, and I learned a lot from him. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. See you soon.